Sorry about that. Okay, so this is going to review the essay structure, and I'm going to do a video for each section. So I'm going to do one video for the introduction, one video for the essay assessment, another video for evaluating and editing process, and one video on self-reflection evaluation, and lastly, a video on discussion. Okay, so let me start with the introduction. So I recommend that you write the introduction last. Writing the introduction can force a young writer to stay wedded to it, which may be beneficial or it could be the downfall of a young writer. It may be beneficial for a young writer to write the introduction first and write a cohesively or organized essay. Another student may write the introduction first but then may find it difficult because introduction becomes the dominant aspect of the essay. This is one more issue associated with writing the introduction first. A student may write the introduction first, which details how they will organize the bulk of the essay, and then forget part or all of what they had written in the introduction. So my bracketed comment just says, you must determine which of the two approaches to write the writing the introduction. All right, so this is basically what I mean. If you decide to write the introduction last, what that means is that you're going to be working on, of course, the essay assessment, the evaluating editing process, self-evaluation, and the discussion first. And then once you complete those sections, then you're going to return and write out the introduction and describe, but this is how you're going to frame it. You're not going to write it as like, I did this. Right, that is not what you're going to write. What you're going to say something along the lines of is, the author of the essay or this manuscript will show how mythology is created to sort of provide an understanding of the origin of life. All right, and the reason why I'm talking about myth making is because the last paper I reviewed was about myth making. Okay, so then you're explaining what you're doing in the introduction as you're going to do it in the future, not something that you did in the past, right? So that's what if you decide to write the introduction last. Now, if you decide to write out the introduction first, you have to make sure that whatever you said in the introduction is carried out throughout the rest of the body, or the essay's body, all right? Because that is what keeps the logical consistency of what you're writing. Right, because if you're telling the reader of your essay that you're going to provide A, B, and C, right, and you're describing and explaining what A, B, and C means for you in relationship to assessing the essay that you had done, then you have to make sure that you carry down through the remainder of the body of the essay's body A, B, and C. Because if I see A, B, and C in the introduction, if you had written it first, um, I'm going to look for those elements in the body of the essay. And if I don't see those elements that are mentioned in the introduction, I will deduct points, right? Because you're not carrying down those main argument points in the introduction down into the body of the essay, right? Because if you decide to do the introduction last, excuse me, you are already integrating the things that you have done into the essay, so you don't really need to think about, am I being consistent between the introduction and the bulk of the body of the essay. You're automatically doing it because you're writing it last, because you're describing what you've done, but you're sort of projecting it into the future tense, if that makes sense. Okay. But again, if you have any questions, please let me know. And I'm going to stop the video here, and then I'm going to do a video on essay assessment.